everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David, and this is a magic review. Today we're looking at a book test. This is the Alice in Wonderland book test, and if you watch my channel for any amount of time, you know I love book tests. I love book tests. This is from Luke Jonas and Olnas Magic. All right, so you like book tests too, or you've always wanted to get a book test. What's going on with the Alice in Wonderland book test? What is this all about? It's Alice in Wonderland, right? You already know the Lewis Carroll story. Lewis Carroll wrote Alice in Wonderland through the Looking Glass. We know the story of Alice's adventures in Wonderland, with the Cheshire Cat and Johnny Depp and all those people. So yeah, it's a familiar book, familiar title. People are gonna like that, right? They're not gonna feel suspicious, like, oh, what crazy weird book is this? I've never heard of this. Everyone's heard of Alice in Wonderland, right? That's a win. This book is limited to 250 copies and it will not be remade. So if you want this, you should pick it up. The book is 100% examinable. It's a fully readable book. It'll read the story from beginning to end. And of course, like I said, people know this title, they'll recognize it. There's no fishing in this book, okay? No fishing. You're not gonna need any stooges, and you're not gonna have to do any riffling through the pages and just say stop. There's no slights here. There's no dual reality. You're not saying one thing and then doing something else. I think this is gonna work for parlor, great. This is gonna work for stage, great. You don't have to do any pre-show, and you're gonna get another book. You're gonna get a second book. It's a fully detailed instruction book that's gonna teach you how to do it. All right, so you're intrigued and you wanna know, how much is it? How much is this? It is 70 bucks. $70, you buy it, you order it, what do you get? You get 2 books, that's it. There's the Alice in Wonderland book, the actual book that you do the trick with, and you get the written instructions. So there's written instructions, there's no video instructions, okay? That's typically how it is with book tests. And that's it, you get those 2 things, okay? So let's talk about the tricks. What does this book test do? Like, what does it do that other book tests maybe don't do, or what does this do well that other book tests haven't yet picked up on? Because this really does a lot. This book test does a ton of stuff. It's not just one trick. There's so many things in this book, and depending on where your spectator stops or what page they're on, or if they're looking at a picture, you could take the trick with them in a totally new way for every single person. You could use this book more than once for multiple spectators in the room, and you could read words, divine words, do drawing duplications, produce physical objects. Yeah, let's talk about it. So there's a couple different features. Number one, the first word is different on every single page, and the first word is gonna be something that you could memorize through a system. There's over 20 different words, and there's an easy way for you to remember what those words are. Every single one of the illustrations is gonna allow you to do a drawing duplication for it. You're not doing a drawing duplication of Alice or the Mad Hatter or anything like that. You're actually gonna do something that's more smaller, more discreet, that's in the picture itself, okay? Like maybe there's a frog in the picture, or a flower, or a box. Like, you're gonna be able to pick up on that. Then if you know how to do the 1089 force, there's a thing that you can do either with a drawing duplication, or you could produce a physical item if you walked your spectator through the 1089 force. There's another thing in here called the number word principle, which kind of like works. So like they turn to a page and you say, hey, what page are you on? They say, we're on page 8. And then you would say, go to the 8th word. Or if they're on page 9, you'd say, go to the 9th word. So there's a principle like that that works throughout the book as well. Plus, as a bonus, 3 random pages that you will know contain the same exact word, and again, you could use that as an instant drawing duplication or a production of an item, or just immediately know a physical item that they're thinking of. All right, so how much practice does this require? There's a lot of memory work in this. This isn't one of those book tests where there's one answer, right? The book does like one thing, and you like only have to remember one thing, or one page, or one force word, or maybe there's 5 force words and you fish to hit them. This isn't like that. Every single one of these tricks requires you to know what the words are and there's no key system for you to follow. You're gonna have to memory work this, okay? And so what Luke Jonas has done is he's actually included in the instruction book several different memory techniques which are there to help you out. But slight-wise, I would just say heavy. This is heavy on the memory, okay? Heavy on the memory work. Positives. All right, so what are the positives? If you only want one book test that does it all, a Swiss Army knife of book tests, this is it. Negatives. All right, so what are the negatives? You know, with every review, I'm always gonna give you the good and the bad. I'm always gonna show you both sides of the coin so that you can make the best choice. I want you to buy magic you're gonna love. I want you to buy magic you're gonna perform, okay? So when you come here to Magic Orthodoxy, you're always gonna get honest and factual reviews every single time, okay? I'm not here to push magic. I'm here to help you sift through the latest and greatest tricks so that you are always spending your money wisely, okay? This is $70, 70 bucks, and that's a lot of money. And there's certainly other book tests out there in the market. So the thing you would buy this for is the fact that you can do more than one trick, right? You can do drawing duplications, you can do thought of word, you can divine things, you can produce a physical item. There's so much. There is so much. But I think the negative for me was it felt like it was packed so full and it had so much stuff. It became, for me, overwhelming. It's like the difference between how my wife and I both pack for a vacation. My wife will literally pack the suitcase with every single thing she's gonna need, plus all the things that she doesn't need. And she's like, see, I have everything. And in my head, I'm like, that's overwhelming to me, to have everything, to have so much. So it just kind of felt like a suitcase that had too much in it. It was just so complex. It became too much for me. So yeah, it's just a lot to take in. Second, I didn't like the illustrations in it at all. I didn't like the illustrations. I didn't like the cover. This doesn't look like the Alice in Wonderland that we're familiar with. And the thing about Alice in Wonderland is their drawings are so iconic, right? They're so iconic that as soon as you see those pictures, you know exactly what this is. And the thing about the drawings are they're public domain. Those drawings are public domain. So if you wanted to, you could publish Alice in Wonderland with the drawings and not have to ask anybody's permission because it's public domain. So if you've got public domain art that you don't have to create from scratch, use it, right? Use it. And I know the reason why they didn't use it. I know the reason why they didn't use it, but it just felt like there was an opportunity missed there to use the illustrations that we are all familiar with, okay? The illustrations that are in the book, they're okay, they're not great. So I don't know, that was a drawback for me. So really those were my two biggest negatives, just the fact that there was so much in the book. It just felt complex. I just knew there was gonna be a lot of memory work that I would have to do. There would be a lot of time I would have to invest in this book to make it work for me. And then second, I just felt like it was a missed opportunity with the illustrations. I didn't like the pictures. Who would like this? Of course, people that like book tests, people that have already gotten some of the other Luke Jonas book tests or Luke Jonas Magic, that you're already a big fan of his. I think it's nice that when you come out to do a book test that you have a stack of books, that you're not just coming out with one or two. And so certainly to have Alice in Wonderland in there is a plus, because I think that's a book that people might immediately grab for. And there's some easy hits in here. There are some easy hits in there that will work. There really are. The number word principle, super easy. You can get a super easy hit off a bunch of pages in there that I think would work great. So if you want to add a book to your stack of book tests when you come out to do your stage or parlor act, hey, you can't go wrong with Alice in Wonderland as a title, right? And don't just take my word for it. Don't just take my word for it. There's a bunch of other magic review channels out there. There's magic review blogs out there. There's, of course, the Magic Cafe. There's lots of places you can go to read or to learn about tricks before you spend your money. Don't ever just take one person's word as law. So the Saint in Scarlet actually reviewed this also. You can head on down to his YouTube channel, which is Mental Sanctity, okay? Mental Sanctity. He reviewed this as well. Make sure you watch his review. It's pretty good, and I'm sure it'll give you a couple of things that I didn't mention. All right, so that's everything I can say about the Alice in Wonderland book test from Luke Jonas. Of course, I want to thank Luke. I want to thank Murphy's Magic Supplies for allowing me to have this so that I could do the review for you. And if you'd like to purchase it for yourself, you can find it wherever quality Murphy's Magic products are sold. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.